Tonight on Inside Story, blending East and West in graphic novels. And we take a new look at a Trekkie film and step inside the footsteps of dinosaurs with an unusual guide. Hello and welcome to Inside Story. I'm Kumi Taguchi. When you think of comic books in Hong Kong and Asia, martial arts and manga spring to mind, with the majority of these geared towards local readers. But with comic book sales on the decline in recent years, the search for stories that break these boundaries is seen as an important step to maintaining interest in the medium. We take a look at how a group of Hong Kong artists are trying to make their mark on the international market.
This is Bumi, a world where the silhouettes of colossal beasts can be seen stalking across the horizon, where gods, demons and warriors of legend command terrifying magic capable of devastating entire armies. A war is coming.
And this is Devashard, a first for the city, a graphic novel with an Asian theme, but made for an international audience.
Basically, Devashard is a story based on Asian mythology, and we felt we could create an international product that the West would read about this Asian story.
So for the Simon Beasley cover, I think it is utterly amazing. What we've got to be careful on is on the production that it still comes through, because we don't want it to go dull.
The brainchild of Simon Squibb, the 26-series novel sets out to change the perceptions of Asian graphic novels. A market dominated by manga, he says, has led to the West not getting a true insight into the artistic talent and great stories in our region.
It's driven quite a lot by, I guess, quirky, fun, almost childish-like imagery of what Asian stories are about. And actually, Asia has a lot of history, a lot of deep cultural stories.
And the project is not just a mix in terms of its storyline. It's 50% East and 50% West, right down to the staff.
What we've tried to do is focus on a fantastic story and then bring in experts in their field. So the penciler, for example, is actually an English guy. The colorist is actually a Hong Kong guy called Johnny. And then the story itself is Asian. And then the art director is Eurasian, living in Hong Kong. So you take those people and you mix them up and you get an interesting mix of people. And then when you pick up the product, you can feel that it's an international product, but with an Asian story. And I think that creates the East meets West feeling.
I'm off to New York, to Comic-Con there, to meet all the potential partners there and existing partners. So it's happening now. This is the point after a year and a half of working on this project. This is the point where it all starts to come alive. So we should all be excited, and I think definitely another round of applause. Okay.
Pick up a graphic novel from a bookstore and it might seem like an easy enough product to make. And in an age where computer technology has made creating digital art more accessible to more people, you'd think that anyone with a computer can have a go. No, says the Devashard team of 10, and that's not including cover artists and overseas consultants. Each book takes 4 months to produce, and that's only after close to 1 year of background research.
Okay, so the first thing that we actually did was try to create our world, because it was really important to us that we knew where all our characters, before we created them, would be living, because then you sort of know how they look, because they're obviously affected by their environment, what they wear. And then once we had sort of all of our descriptions written out, then we started to creatively draw our characters out. Once we had our characters, then we could actually start to work on the story a little bit more. We travelled quite a bit. We went to the States a few times, went to various Comic-Cons to see sort of what else was out there. We went to India a few times, like the whole team, did a lot of temple visits, just tried to sort of pick up on the culture and get a better understanding of where our story was sort of set.
The other thing is that we created a product from scratch. So it's not like we took a core product that already exists like Spider-Man and did our own version of it. We took a product that didn't exist, which means there's 50 characters, for example, in the first series. All those characters from the age of 1 to to 35 needs to be completely developed. Before you even actually start looking at those characters, you have to design the world that they live in. And different parts of the world, different temperatures, why? How many moons go around that world? In our world, there's 2, why? Then you have to look at literally the science of it, how the gravity works and what the magical elements of that world contain. And then once you've worked out what the temperature is in the north, and then when you put a character in that part of the world, you know what they're wearing.
Characters were drawn by penciler Keith Burns based on extensive descriptions, and then each page was carefully laid out, much like seeing a movie frame by frame.
When each page is finished, it's then passed on to Ken, who's our inker, and by hand he will ink over those penciled lines. So that's in order to give the colorist a really clear base to work off.
You guys start. So what page are you working on now? That animal is amazing.
Yeah, much more powerful.
You don't want to mess with him, right?
Yeah, I really need to. Really come back.